Hello there, and welcome to another Starfield video. It's that time of the week again where we got some paid mods. So today we're going to be checking out Eparcaes Outpost Shipbuilder Vendor Compilation mod, achievement friendly. This is by Erebus Arcade. I apologize if I butchered that. So this is a mod that adds a couple of different features to the game. The main ones I'm interested in is it adds new ship weapons. As you can see, it adds quite a few new ship weapons and reactors. It also adds some new game settings, which I will say they seem interesting to me. But I will straight off the bat, I think it's a bit like the mod author. Clearly, they're it's a kind of a it's like a compilation. I think they say it's previous mods, personal experimental game settings, quality of life changes and stuff that they focus on, which, I understand that. One thing I will say straight off the bat that kind of, before we jump into it, that kind of irks me a little bit. So in the gameplay settings, one of the things is ship turning radial movement set to smaller circumference for tighter turns. Only works with PC with keyboard and mouse. That kind of annoys me because Xbox, obviously, it's one of many features that, there's so many, obviously. But I kind of wish the mod author would have made it work with controller and console, because, console is the kind of the bigger pool when it comes to mods. Anyway, this is 200 credits, about €2, $2, about like £1. So yeah, let's go check it out, shall we? All right, so we're in game now, and what we'll do is we'll check the ship stuff first, and then we'll kind of, after that, we will do the weapons stuff. So I am playing on Xbox, just because that's how I test my stuff. I like to, as I always say, if it don't work on Xbox, I might yell at you. I might yell at you anyway. I'm an angry person. All right, so let's go to the vendor. Hello, how are you?
Anything I can help you with?
I'd like to modify. All right. So let's check the new weapons. So we got weapons. So first of all, we've got the Devastator 1300 salvo missile launcher. A-class, 3850 range, 0.36 fire rate, 36.7 hull damage, 31.49 shield damage, and 6 power. It says Horizon's new PK, okay. And then we've got the Devastator 1400. So this is, I'm assuming this is just going to be like a straight upgrade. A little bit bigger. Same range, same fire rate, 52.49 hull damage, 47.24 shield damage, and then requires 6 power each. They're not new. Just scroll. Will we find? I'm hoping that they're going to stand out on their own, and I haven't just passed them. Are they going to be at the bottom? Okay, yeah, they're at the bottom. Okay, they require Starship Engineering. Let me see. Let me just double check. Okay, so we've got I need Starship Engineering 1 and Starship Engineering. Do I not have Starship Engineering? What? Hold the phone. What is Starship Engineering? Apparently I don't have Starship Engineering. Let's see if that unlocks all of them. Hopefully it does.
Hey, what can I do for you? Sure.
Otherwise I'm going to have to swap back. Oh, whoops. See. Weapons. Alright, where are they? Pack Hunter. Okay, so these are actually, yeah, these are also, okay, yeah, I can see it now. So the Pack Hunter, there's the A and B class. So Pack Hunter is A class, 4,400 range, 1 fire rate, 42 hull, 36 shield, 3 power. And then B class is same stats, except it's 73 hull, 68 shield, and 6 power. We've got the Mauler Fragmentation Cannon, B class, 1870, 2 fire rate, 40 hull and shield damage, and 3 power. And then we've got the MKE Fragmentation Cannon, which is B class, 2000 range, 0.93 fire rate, 50 hull and shield damage, and 6 power. The Mauler is B. Yeah, I'm just checking. So some of them, I think I'm going to need to. What I'm going to do is I think I'm going to have to jump back over to PC very quickly to, I think, change my stats. Yeah, I'm going to need Starship Engineering Force. So I'll be right back. I'm going to go and basically and give myself the stats, and we will be back. All right, we're back. I added the perks. So just looking at the weapons so far, it seems like not all the weapons are available at the same vendor. I'm going to assume that it's the, like, kind of in the case of the base game where, like, the Freestar Collective have different kinds of weapons. So we've looked at these 4 here. We also have, now they do require some, like, Starship design to and or so just looking at these stats. So what is this called? This is the CM. So the Experimental Mine Layer, it's B class level 25 when you lock it. So it's 3,850, 2 hull, 68 hull damage and shield damage, 6 power, and 5 hull. I don't know what the hull. So we've got the Mauler frag cans. We looked at them. We've got the TX1 Javelin torpedo launcher, C class, 4950 range, 1 fire rate, 472 hull and shield damage, and 6 power. Requires Starship Design 4 and Starship Engineering 4. And it's a level 40. That's a C class. And then we've got the Photon torpedo launcher and Photon torpedo launchers of the B and C. So these are supposed to be kind of Star Trek-y. Apparently they're quite overpowered. I think this one, yeah, this one's really overpowered. So B class, 4950 range, 4.61 fire rate, 84 hull and shield damage, and 12 power. And then this one is same, only 6 power, but it's 551. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna test out these weapons. There's other stuff. We're gonna check reaction stuff. We're gonna check out the weapons first. So what we're going to do is, I am going to assume that the variants of each one are going to act the same. So the A and the B. So what I'm going to just do is, instead of like testing both the A and the B, I'm just going to test the B. Just because, again, I'm assuming that, yeah, they're just going to kind of act the same. So we're gonna test the Devastator 1400, the Pack 14, and then this one, and then we'll check the other ones in a minute. So I'm gonna really quickly go and put them on the ship, and we'll be right back. All right, so we're here in game. I have set the game to E or normal. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna check the missiles first. So this is, let me just double check what is what. So the Devastators are on the left, and the Pack Hunters are on the right, and then the mines in the middle. The Devastators. Okay, so it seems to fire them in a spread. Interesting. Very slow fire rate. That fires them a lot kind of closer. And then the mine. Okay. Interesting. Now we're going to fire these at the Chimera just to see how it goes. So we're going to use the right ones first.
Hostility will not be tolerated.
So I don't think they're lock. Okay, let me check here. So it's hard to tell if they are lockable. Okay, so the mines aren't lockable. Okay. Oh no, they are lockable. Oh, what the hell? Do you mind? I'm trying to shoot you. This is... I'm gonna let them get like further ahead so I can test really quickly. This is the right trigger. Yeah, they don't seem to lock. These ones do. And then the mines. So it seems very much like the mines and the so what is these ones? So the mines and the pack hunter ones are meant to be kind of like point blank weapons that don't lock, whereas the devastators do lock. Right, so let's jump down and we'll just grab the next weapons. We'll be right back. All right, so now we got the Mauler fragmentation cannon, the MKE4 fragmentation cannon, and then the torpedo launcher. So I'm going to assume these are going to operate like as kind of shotguns, what I'm guessing. The range is it's still quite far. And then this is the torpedo. I'm assuming this is going to move slow. So yeah, let's go check these out. We'll be better. All right, so here we are. So I'm going to check these. So these are the Maulers. Okay. So there is a Mauler weapon in game that does the kind of the close range shotgun shots. So I think the mod author probably just modified that, and then there's no C class, so they made a C class. And then the torpedo is it just a single? Okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna test this. Let's start with the torpedo. Okay, so the torpedo. Oh, whoops. We're shooting the key. Lovely. Come on. So obviously they're not meant to be used against shields. On normal they do decent damage, so they're quite fairly well balanced. The torpedo does a lot of damage. Now, to be honest, the mod author has been chatting to me about this stuff on stream. Look in the stream. I stream Starfield every Friday and Saturday, and I stream other games Monday and Wednesday. Currently Oblivion. They were saying about the kind of the torpedo. I was kind of hoping that, because I feel like with the torpedo, usually the whole thing with the torpedo is it's slow but high damage. This doesn't seem to be that. It's just very much a kind of a singular missile. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. I'm just, yeah. So we're going to check out the last ones now. We'll be right back. All right, and finally for this load of weapons, we have the torpedo launcher, Photon torpedo launcher B, and Photon torpedo launcher C. So let's go check them out. I believe the C one is going to be very powerful, so let's go check it out. All right, so the C is on the left and the B is on the right. The C fires multiple, like a burst of 3, and the B fires a singular burst. We're playing on normal difficulty again. Let's target. Fire. Are we locked? Fire torpedo, or what are these called? Fire proton torpedoes. This is the B. This is the B. All right, the B doesn't see. Oh, it does. The lock-on seems to be a bit finicky. I'll fire the C. Again, I don't know if... I'm not sure if, like, if I'm missing the lock-on, or if they just don't lock. Right, let me try again. So we're locking. All right, let me go. Oh, no. We're locking. Okay, so that one looked like it flew straight at them, but again, it's gonna... Right, so we're gonna let him... I'm gonna get a lock on him. I'm gonna kind of fire off to the side, right? So... Oh, you little fecker, you. Come here. Right, so he's moving, and once I get a lock on him, right, so I'm locking, he's locked. So that missile, if it's gonna... That missile's not going near him. That one kind of is. So there seems to be a kind of a lock-on to it. But like with the other one, it seems to be very kind of finicky. I don't know if that was a design choice where like you have to physically be kind of like looking at the target. So what we're gonna do now really quickly is we're gonna jump over. There's a few more weapons I need to check. We're gonna jump over to Neon to check those weapons, and then we're gonna go back and look at the other stuff because there's like some reactors and grav drives and stuff. So we'll be right back. All right, so actually before we go over to Neon, I want to actually show you because it'll save me having to go. So we have some new reactors, which we'll check first. Actually, I think we've new cargo. Is it going to have it here? There's the Hope Tech R5. They're not going to have this because they're not a Hope Tech. Okay, they don't have it. So grav drives, they made all of the landing thrusts for this mod. Every single landing thrust is 4. So grav drive, we've got the SGD. There's a B class, the SGD. Do we have it here? The S. We don't. The Aurora. The Aurora 20G. Is this one of the things I don't have it unlocked? Interesting. Aurora 20G. Where are you? Okay, so we have, so we've the Aurora 20G grav drive. As you can see here, it's a C-class grav drive. It's got 12 power and 40 jump thrusts. So if we compare that to, let me just put this here. Like, for instance, if we compare that to the Aurora 13G, you'll see that it has a little bit more grav health and a little bit more. I'm assuming the mod author put these in because they were hoping for, or like they wanted kind of smaller profile grav drives. There also is the SGD 3300. I don't know if we have, do we have that? We don't have that here. I'm going to have to check somewhere else. SGD 3300. No, we don't. Reactors. We have, oh, there I see one already. So we've got the DC 400, which is this one here, fast ignition reactor. It's a C class, 40 power. Again, I think it's the profile they're trying to make it smaller. 40 power. 5 repair rate. Let me actually compare this. And then we've got an improved one. So this one has a hull of 1120. This has a hull of 1700. Repair rate is 5 versus 6. Reactor health is more. Let me just double check. So this is, what other C classes do we have that we could compare to? This is the kind of the big one. So if we compare to this one here. Okay, so it's not too bad. Again, I think these are just mainly there to kind of keep the profile down. There also is, I don't know if I have them. There is, well, we're tokamaks and an ion beam. We don't have any of them here. We'll have to check in a minute. And then they added 2 new fuel stuff. So they added the Dogstar Ulysses M20A and B. Okay, so there's the M20A. The Ulysses basically a little bit heavier, gives 120 as opposed to 70. And then there's the L300 helium 3 tank, 350. M20B, which is 300. The M, that's a new one. The M200, which is 300, and then the L300A. Yes, I'm just looking at that. So just to confirm, so there's the Dogstar Ulysses. There's the Ulysses M20A and B, which we've looked at. The M20A. And there's the M20B. The X-Tank M200. Don't know what that one is. Alright, interesting. So again, just using some extra kind of like, this is originally a reactor, which they've repurposed as a fuel tank. Same with this one here. They've originally said as a fuel tank. And then they adjusted HABs so that HABs now add cargo capacity, I believe. Okay, so the storeroom adds 80 cargo. I think is that the other one? Storeroom seemed to add 80 cargo. Interesting. Not too bad, not too bad. And they added the Galleon S203 as Do we have them? Are they going to be visible here? Probably not. No, they're not. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump to Hope Tech very quickly, and we're going to just look at the other pieces, the other weapons, and we'll be right back. All right, so we're here in Akila City. So these are the weapons that are just unique to Akila City. There is some overlap, like for instance, the Fragmentation cannon and the mines are still there. So we've got the Arashi A310 sequence missile launcher. I had to look at the thing. A-class, 5280 range, 5.6 fire rate, and 30.9 hull damage, 20.6 shield damage. We've got the B version, which same range, same fire rate, a little bit more damage, 6 power. And then the C version, which again, same range, less fire rate, interestingly. I don't know why it's less. Then we've got the Dengen OC Overcharged from Shinigami B-Class, 2750, 12 fire rate, 8 hull and shield damage. And then we've got the Overcharged HPLA. This version is B-Class, 2750 range, 12 fire rate, 13 hull and shield damage, so again, a little bit more hull and shield damage. We've got the Jishaku OC Railgun Overcharge, B-Class, 4400 range, 4.5 fire rate, 50 hull and shield damage, no EMP, 3 power. And then we've got the Jishaku Burst Railgun, B-Class, 4400 range, 4.5 fire rate, 14 hull and shield damage. So what we're going to do is we're going to test these. So I'm going to, again, these seem to be the exact same, but I'm going to use the, I'm going to mount the B and C just to kind of see what the main difference is. Because I'm assuming there's going to be like some slight difference. And then we're going to test in our usual spot. We'll be right back. All right. So here we are. Let me actually double check. Am I on? Yeah, I'm going to set the player damage to normal, just so I do normal damage. So the, we're going to look at the B-class missile fires like so. Okay. And the C-class fires like so. Okay. And then the ballistic just fires a little bit faster, so I think it's just a, right, so let me lock on. Target is locked. Let's see if the B-class, they do lock. And then there's the C-class. All right, so the, what's interesting about the missiles, just looking at them, so they seem, are they fully automatic? Let me just double check that. I think they might be fully automatic. So if I just hold the trigger down, oh, they are fully automatic. Okay, interesting. So you hold the trigger down on this, the B class, where the C class has a kind of a delay between it. All right, so again, quite interesting. All right, let's really quickly jump back and we will try the last 3 weapons. All right, so now we've added the other variant of the Dengen, which I assume is just going to be a little bit more DPS. And then we've got the Overcharge Railgun and the Burst Fire Railgun, or Burst Railguns. Let's go check them out. All right, we're back now. So we've got the other particles. Interesting. So we've got the Dengar, a little bit faster. We've got the Burst Railgun. And we've got the particle railgun. Okay, so let's do a test. Let me just double check. Am I on? Okay, we'll put the normal. All right, come here, you. No, yep. Well, no, you, no, you, no. There we go. All right, so we'll fire the. Okay, so the damage seems to be. For a C-class weapon, the damage, let me just, did I just do that right? Yeah, player ship damage. You deal the normal, so I'm dealing the normal amount of damage. Making use of, let me look at this. So the one on the left is the C-class railgun. That damage is absolutely abysmal. The other one, again, kind of abysmal. I think the issue is they're probably using the particles as the base, which particles by default, they don't do, I mean, they do decent damage. Yeah, so it's, I mean, so that's, yeah, it doesn't do, the particles don't do like a whole lot of damage. The ballistic weapon thing seems to do more. Now let me just, now that the shields are down, let me... Yeah, damage on these are very subpar, very, very weak. Alright, so we're gonna jump back now, we're gonna look at the other parts. So now we're back, so what we're looking for now is because we're at the different area, we're looking at the, so the cargo, I believe, they should have them here, the Dog Star. They call the... Cargo is called, oh, it's Hope Tech shielded. I don't think we have that. Okay, we're gonna have to go to Hope Tech. Oh no, there they are. So the Hope Tech, again, the mod author has repurposed that's a reactor, and they've repurposed them. So there's the Hope Tech RS 1500, 1510, gives a little bit of shielded, 2000, 1000, and the RS 215. So fuel tanks, I think we've covered all the fuel tanks. Yeah, all the fuel tanks are there. So the gear, again, all of the landing gear has been set to 4. Grav drives, we have there it is there, the SGD 30, what? Okay, that's the 3310, that's the C-class grav drive, 40 power. Which again, I think the mod author is just trying to make like them a little bit smaller so that you have a little bit more power than the usual bees. Well, there's a third one. What is it called? The SGD 3023. Oh, there it is there. So it's the B class again, 40 power. Not too bad. And then reactors, we have, where they're probably at the top. Yeah, so we have the ion beam reactor, C class, 50 power. The Tokamak X400, 45 power. The XC, 50 power. The 400B, 45 power. The Ion Beam H, 40 power and 55 power. It also adds the galleon. Let me see if it adds. Does it add the galleon? Okay, so it also adds the galleons as whole parts, which I think is quite cool. It adds them as whole parts. Now, it adds ships into the game. It says that they're currently only going to be found at Outposts. So what we're going to do is we're going to really quickly go put down an Outpost. But before we do that, I'm going to just go over some of the game settings. So one of the first things they've done is they've made it so that the ship Outpost vendor refreshes from 2 days instead of 7. And they'll now sell 15 random generic ships instead of 8. Ship turning radial movement set to smaller circumference for tighter turns, but that's only on PC with mouse and keyboard. Faster sleep hour cycle speed. Fix ship's shake, force, rolling, bouncing when firing multiple vessels. Reduce ship's boost consumption. Ship shield's explosion scale set to 100. Partially increase the ship's boost speed, partially increase selling value to vendors. Adjustment of vendors refresh. All vendors now refresh to 1 day instead of depending on where it is. Respawn cells and cleared ones set so you can clear a new cell, like, you know, respawn enemies in 12 hours. Adjusted player owned ship count to 30. Ship fast travel fade out set to 0.95. Targeting VATS camera is now zoomed out, still slow-mo. Ship collision damage has been adjusted. It's constantly updated. Ship fall off target lock time has been increased. Ship targeting mode maximum distance has been set to 8,000. Ship target lock angle set to 40. Ship shield camera shake set to 0.0500. Ship looting and docking distance set to 250 meters. Vehicle aim slow motion and timescale set to 0. Zoom will now not slow down time. Vehicle damage to actors set to 100. Combat changes to roll, surround, dodge. Ship fast travel, slow down. Destination range, ship fire. I don't know what that means in essential dead time. So we'll go and we're going to make an outpost real quick. We're going to just go here. So one thing I will say, and I suppose I'll kind of get to more in the end. Some of these changes are cool. Like we will check the kind of the sleep and the weight thing. But for all intents and purposes, I don't like when paid mods kind of change things that Bethesda have kind of set, like setting it so that like the vehicle doesn't slow down. Like is a bit of a weird one, because like that was Bethesda's design philosophy to allow the kind of the slow down time. Let me do ship, so I'm gonna need to spawn some stuff in real quick. We'll be right back. I'm gonna spawn them in. All right, so I've swapped over to PC just to make this easier, because I did like all the testing on Xbox, so it does work on Xbox. So one thing is I'm gonna test a real. What the hell are you? Hello. So we're gonna test the weight. So by default in game when you wait, usually it's like it ticks down one at a time. Is it now instant? Okay, so now it's faster. So it kind of speeds up a little bit faster. Okay, that's kind of interesting. I do wonder if that will have any kind of negative effects on the game. Just again, I don't think it would. But yeah, just in case. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna really quickly check the ship. So this mod also adds 5 new ship types that are currently added to the vendor list, Outpost vendor list, and they're gonna make them faction ships in the future. So this mod obviously adds way more. So 15 ships instead of 6, I think. So let's see if we can find them. No, okay, that's one of them. The A91 L4, that's a pretty cool looking ship. Interesting, although we all know my opinion on paid ship mods. Not a fan, although this mod isn't inherently a paid ship mod. But yeah, we have, what else do we have? We've got the Valkyrie, which is another one. It's a Type B. Quite a cool looking ship. Similar design aesthetics to this one. We've got the Duran Fighter. That's another one, a B. Okay. Okay, not too bad. No weapons. Weird that a fighter doesn't have weapons, but... we've got 2 more, if it'll show me. Probably not gonna... Okay, there's 2 more. So I'm gonna wait and just see if I can get them to respawn. So the ship refreshes 2 days now, so we're just going to wait 2 days and see. We'll be back. All right, so the ship vendor thing refreshing from 7 days to 2 days, I can confirm that doesn't seem to work. So I've waited like 4 days now. Let me just do 2 more. It doesn't seem to change. Don't know if I have to like load a new cell. I don't think I have to load a new cell because that's not how it usually works. Although to be honest, I don't... Usually when it comes to refreshing the ship vendor specifically, I tend to go and... I tend to just go to Venus. So I might have to spawn in the last 2 ships just to look at them. Yeah, so this hasn't refreshed. So the 2 ships we're missing is there's Stamos Centurion and the Duran Fighter. So I'm going to do is I'm going to spawn them in and we will be right back. Alright, so I've spawned them in. So this is the Deimos Centurion Type C. I will say it looks very cool. The only thing is, generally when you're doing kind of, because these, I think these are supposed to be faction vessels at some point. I feel like when you're doing Deimos vehicles, you should primarily only be using Deimos parts. Whereas with this, you're using some Stroud parts and stuff. Which I feel like the ship looks cool, but yeah, just calling it a Deimos, and this is just me being nitpicky because I'm a bit of a shipbuilder. But I feel like when you have a mod that has like paid ships in it, you know, I'm going to be a bit finicky. Looks cool though, all the same. And then this is the Spade Runner. Honestly, this looks actually, I really like it. It's like a cute little ship. Again, couldn't get these to spawn in the vendor. All right, so here's now we're at the end of the video. Let's discuss my opinion. So Erebus, I know you've been in the we'll look at Cora. I know you've been in the stream and stuff last couple of weeks and stuff, and we've been chatting. You seem like a nice person, but I'm gonna be honest, and because I feel like it's my duty. I personally don't think, and this is also to kind of other people too. You know, like I personally don't think this is a good kind of interpretation of a paid mod. Like for me, the main elements of it, like of the mod for me, are the weapon parts. And while they're definitely very cool, it's just a lot of kind of stat changing. There's nothing truly unique in it. Like, if I feel like in order for something to be in order for a paid mod to be a paid mod, and this is just opinion. I feel like, you know, if you're doing weapons, the weapons have to be custom, like custom, you know, custom UI, custom like textures, you know, like unique like weapon, like, you know, actual weapons themselves. And this just doesn't really kind of feel that way to me. They just, yeah, they're cool weapons. And I think as a whole, if this was a free mod, I could definitely understand. Like, I'd be like, yeah, that's cool. You know, some people really like it. But with a paid mod, I know it's not priced too, you know, it's not too egregious, but still, I think that this at best is a free mod. Like, the changes, the game changes are definitely, again, cool. But I think the other thing too is, regardless of the paid mod, when you are doing a mod where it's like, okay, these are all the changes I've done in my game to make it fun, if you want to share that, 100% share it as a free mod. But when you make it a paid mod, it just, yeah, like, I'm always a kind of a stickler for paid mods that are you know, like, very lore friendly, kind of follow the design philosophy of the game. And, like, you're tweaking things that, like, Bethesda kind of, and there's nothing, you're entitled to do that. But when you make a paid mod of it, like, people are going to be critical of it, and I myself am being critical of it. All in all, like, it's, yeah, it's, if it was a free mod, I could definitely recommend it because the weapons are cool and stuff. It's clear that, you know, you're tweaking some stuff, and I really like that. You know, I'm always a big fan of people kind of doing mods and stuff. But I think currently I can't recommend this mod. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. As always, thanks for watching. If you're interested in this sort of stuff, then don't forget to subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.